Hello everyone and welcome back to another video by jmadden. I know it's been a few weeks since you saw an update on the tank. It's now week 5. A lot of things have changed in the system. As you can see, we've got some corals in here now. There is a new fish, and there's some other interesting things that have been happening with the clowns and the anemones. I'll get into those in a little bit. With the system so far, everything's going really well. My parameters are very stable. 0 nitrates, due in part to the deep sand bed that I have in here, as well as 0 phosphates currently. With phosphates, you may read 0, but there's always something. I've got a refugium on here, and my chaetomorpha is growing pretty fast, so obviously it's just getting consumed as fast as it's produced, and that's why we're getting the reading of 0 on that. The parameters are doing really well. I've been dosing the system as well as doing 5-gallon water changes every 2 weeks so far on the system. What I've been dosing is the ESV Bionic 2-part calcium and alkalinity, as well as Kent Marine Tech Magnesium. These products are great. I've used them for a long time. I use them on my old 60-gallon system, and you know they're just spot on, just tried and true. A couple things have changed in here as well from the last update as far as equipment goes. I believe that in the last video that I made of the tank, I was only running one of the MP10s. I've since changed that due to some of the coral additions that are in here. I have 2 MP10s running, about 60% on nutrient transport mode. This is a lot of flow for a tank of this size. Also, up in the top right hand corner on my return, I went ahead and put a spin stream on there, so that this way the flow returning to the tank from the sump isn't linear. It's just moving around, so there's no direct flow anywhere in here. With the MP10s, I don't have any dead spots in here whatsoever. One of the things I did do is rearrange the rock work a little bit. I did this in part to the addition of that purple tang that you see. He's about 1.5 inches long. Got it off Live Aquaria. He's been doing well. I've had him for a little over 2 weeks now, and he's just a beautiful small fish. Obviously, this fish isn't going to stay in here for long, as the next big tank is in the works, and I will do a video on that in the near future discussing everything that's happening there. So for now, he's in here, he's happy, he's healthy. With the rock work, I did rearrange it so that there would be more hiding places for him to make him feel secure. I went ahead and see if I can get my finger up here. Okay, this large branching rock, if you recall, it was kind of over this way. I moved it over there, lifted up this rock, and so all the way in the back, there's about 3 different caves. So this fish has plenty of hiding places. One of the other things that has happened in here that you may have seen from my previous video is that my clownfish finally started to spawn, and what I'll do is I'll get the camera off my makeshift tripod, which is just a box on a table, and I'll come in here and get some close-up shots of what's happening in here. Yeah, so as you all know, these 2 clownfish came with me, from California out here to Colorado. And I've been out here for a little over 4 months, so these fish have been through 2 different tanks, been in a 5-gallon bucket for a period of time, and they just started spawning the other day. That's why I posted up that video as the spawning was actually happening. So yeah, they've been kind of beating down this bubble tip anemone here pretty good, but as you can see here, see if we can get a shot of the eggs. Yeah, you can see them right there on the rock, all those black dots. Yeah, they're doing well. The fish are cleaning them, really happy. They've been digging a monstrous crater here all around this rock, which isn't too great as far as for sandstorms, but it's not a big deal. You know, I like seeing the natural behavior of these fish. One of the things that is new in here is you'll notice these two anemones, these two larger ones. Yep, that was one of those big bubble tip anemones that I had recently added into the system, and it just split a few days ago. So, you know, there you go. I mean, doing something right, apparently. So yeah, now I have another anemone. The other one that I've been salvaging is doing well. It actually came off the rock and lost part of itself to one of the MP10s, but it's doing really well now, coloring up nicely. I noticed that whenever bubble tip anemones really reach their peak coloration, you'll start seeing these white marks in them. I'm not sure if I can zoom in well enough for you to see it, but if you look inside that anemone, that small one, you'll see the white zooxanthellae, and I've noticed that starts to happen whenever the anemones are receiving adequate lighting. So there are a few coral additions in here. I'll just start over here on the right. As you remember from my last system, I had that large Tyree toadstool. Here's another small one. I actually got this one at the same time I got the larger rose bubble tip anemones that you saw in the first couple videos of this tank, but it was just never open in those videos coincidentally. But it's doing really well. It's pretty cool little toadstool, a little bit bigger than a quarter. You know, the scale of things in here may seem larger because this is kind of a small tank. Clownfish, tick and talk. And I also went ahead and got this Yuma. It's doing well. It's orange with purple, and there's a couple babies on that hideous looking square frag plug. I got this piece over here. This is a tricolor Velita. Really great coloration on it. Purple tips have been intensifying underneath my LED lighting system. Over here is a Monty cap of some sort. The person that I got it from, local reefer out here, said it was a flower pot, Monty pour, whatever that means, but it's got a yellow coloration. You can't really see it, but there's blue polyps on it, and it's got a nice growth ring on it. Kind of thinking it'll probably start intensifying in color underneath my lighting, as that particular coral did come from a dimly lit tank. And over here on the left, this is supposed to be a purple digitata, Monipora digitata. It's lost a lot of its color. It came from the same tank as that Monty cap over there. So it's very dimly lit, but the polyp extension on it's really nice. A lot of growth on it. If I can get away from this glare. And as you can see, I mean, there's just tons of branches. Healthy piece, just not as colorful as I would like it, but I'm confident that that will color up. And then up here on the top, we have a couple more pieces here. I couldn't tell you what species they are or not, but the coloration is gorgeous. Haven't lost any coloration on them since being under the LEDs. As they did come from a system that was lit by 250 watt metal halides. But so far I'm definitely enjoying those corals. Also, I have something a little bit different going on as well. As you can see up here, I went ahead and hooked up my CPR Aquatics hang on back skimmer. I just did this because I want to get some more skimming in this tank. Down in the refugium, you know, I also have, in the sunken refugium, excuse me, I have another skimmer. I just put this one up here because I have been feeding the tank pretty heavily with that tang being in here, and with the clownfish starting to spawn. They definitely appreciate extra food. So I'll go ahead and take you down bottom real quick. Made some changes in here. And the first change you'll see is I moved my macro glow light down. I did have it up top here, mounted to the top of this skimmer, hanging out. But it seemed like it was a little too far away from the surface, so I just wanted to try and get the chaetomorpha down here to really start growing. So I did that, and also I went ahead and put my heater down here. It was in the main display. Obviously, I'm not a fan of that. I like to keep a clean look. So I put it in here, it just barely fits. I mean, this thing is huge. You know, it's probably at least a little over a foot long. And down here in this container, what you're going to see, I'm not sure how well you can see it is, but I have a few Nacerius snails. I took them out of the main display yesterday because they were just attacking my scarlet hermit crabs as they were starting to molt and killing them, as well as chasing down the Stomatilla snails that are in the system. And I really like the Stomatilla snails. You know, they do a really good job of getting inside of the MP10s and keeping them clean. And up there you can see the spin stream that I have hooked up that keeps the flow randomized. Anything else that I should really mention here? I mean, yeah, I've got some cleanup crew going on. I got some Ceres snails, some Astrea snails. That's basically about it for the tank at its current state. You know, as always, thanks everyone for watching. Many more videos to come as I document the progress of this system. If you have any comments or suggestions or anything like that, feel free to go ahead and leave them down in the comments. Thanks for watching, enjoy your tanks, and see you on the next one.